I am a financial planner and I work with a team of financial planners to help people who ask for our assistance in their financial planning process. We are in this line for decades now. Over these decades, we have seen a lot of people coming to us and we have seen why people fail in their financial planning exercise. In this episode today, I have brought to you the 8 reasons why people fail in their financial planning exercise. This is NRI Money Clinic for you, and I am Dr. Chandrakant, but investment consultant and a financial planner.
NRI Money Clinic. No hype, just the right advice.
In the financial planning process, the success depends on how meticulously you plan. Whether you are a do-it-yourself investor or whether you take the assistance of a professional financial planner, the success depends on putting up a simple yet a process-driven method for financial planning. If this is not done, I am very sure the financial planning process will not go in the right direction and at the end it is bound to fail. Let us look at the 8 reasons why financial plans fail in case of most people. Reason number 1, a lack of holistic approach or a purpose behind an investment. To be successful, you should have a holistic approach. And you should also know the purpose for which you are doing it. If you are doing it for the sake of retirement, then you should follow a particular approach. If you are doing it for sake of building an emergency fund, then a particular process is required. People come and they say, I have purchased this site. What do you do with this? This is for the child education. So such an approach will not fail. You should have an holistic approach. How much money should be put under each category? What kind of an instruments have to be picked up? When should be the delivery of that financial plan? When you need that money? And what are the chances of success, failure? Which is the best option that you should take? All these things have to be taken into account. People will just go put money somewhere and say that I have saved this money and it can be used for any purpose. Such an approach will not succeed in financial planning. Reason number 2, lack of proper advice. People may start doing on their own, do-it-yourself investors, or people may start reading, or people may take advice of several people. Let me tell you here, lack of advice is not something which is good. Maybe you have to take advice from somebody, or you may be reading and picking up that advice on your own. But if you start without any advice, then you are doing it in complete darkness. You don't know which way you have to go, and it is going to be bound to be a failure, or you will learn through your mistakes. It is very ordinary to learn from your own mistakes. It's extraordinary to learn from others' mistakes. So lack of advice is not something which is good in financial planning. What is the other side of the story? The other side of the story is people take too much of advice. They read a lot. They ask everybody. They ask their friends. They ask their colleagues. At the end, they get confused. If lack of advice is one set of problem, having too much of advice is another set of problem. So what is really required is a proper advice, and you should be guided by proper persons, experienced and who have a clear knowledge about how the financial planning has to be done. That is the right thing which is required for you to succeed in financial planning. Reason number 3, lack of judgment. This is extremely important. The judgment for any individual, whether you are a do-it-yourself investor or you are a financial planner or anyone for that matter, can come over the many years by way of experience. Now, what is this judgment about? The judgment is about how things will be in future. What are the changes that are coming in? Now, we have seen in US that there was a 0% bank rate of interest now for quite some time now. Now, what happens going forward? Now, you see in the US 7% inflation rate. So, what can happen to your bank interest rate going forward? So, this is a form of judgment. Then, what product suits for what particular purpose? That's another judgment. How will the markets perform? What happens when the interest rate rise? What happens when the inflation rates rise? What happens to the cost of education? How much money could be required during the retirement? What things can go wrong during your retirement? So these are all part and parcel of the judgment. An individual investor, when he starts financial planning, he will not have this judgment. This is the precise reason why many of the financial planning processes will fail. Point number 4, people take excessive risk in their financial planning. When I talk about risk, it's just not the risk of losing money. That is one type of risk. There are many other types of risk. For example, you may not achieve the desired objective in the financial planning. You may fall short of your targeted amounts. This could be one risk. There could be risk of liquidity. People say, I have bought this site or apartment, and when my children get married or at the time of their education, I'll sell it off. You may not find a buyer at that point of time. So the risk of liquidity is also there. Likewise, the risk of markets falling down. So you want money at a particular point of time, and you don't take into account that the markets could be not in their best at that point of time, and you may not have the required amount of money to achieve your life goals. The risk of losing money is also real. People think, okay, I don't want to go through mutual fund. I don't want to put my money in the bank FDs. So they want everything to be done by buying the stocks. When you buy the individual stocks, then you run the risk of the company going bankrupt or the company not performing as it is. Gone are the days where companies used to live for hundreds of years or decades together. Today, any company may go bankrupt at any point of time. Technology is a big disruptor. When you are taking calls on individual stocks, please keep in mind that 10 years later, that business may be there or may not be there. So excessive risk taking is one of the reasons why many of the financial plans fail. Reason number 5, failing to optimize the returns. Most people are so much focused on getting the highest return. In the bargain, they fail to get what they should really get. Instead of that, if people put their focus on what they need to achieve, let me explain here. Now, without going to any financial planner or doing anything, you have an option to go and put your money in a bank account. The bank gives you a certain rate of interest. We call this as an opportunity cost. When you do a meticulous financial planning, the basic objective here would be that you must get something over and above the bank rate. You should set your goals like this. But the real purpose of any investment is wealth creation. For whatever could be the purpose, it should be the wealth creation should happen. At least it should happen over longer number of years. So wealth creation happens when you are able to beat the inflation. So the second set of goal that you should keep in mind is I should beat the inflation rate. So if you keep a realistic view, if you are able to beat inflation by about 3 to 4%, your purpose will be served. Instead of doing this, people will go and say I should get 10%, 15%, 20% rate of return. So this is uncommon. This may happen at some point of time. This will not happen on a regular basis, and they fail to achieve their objectives because they will not be able to do it. The simple way to do it is optimize your return, set up your expectation, try to get something more than the bank rate, try to beat inflation by about 3 to 4%, which is very reasonable, which is the optimal return to get it. If you are able to do it, then your financial plannings will be a successful one. Otherwise, if you try to achieve something which is too much, then there will be bound to be failures all along the way. Reason number 6, excessive dependence on Excel sheet models. My dear viewers, please see, Excel sheet is a great tool. It can work wonders when things can be predicted properly. Then Excel sheets work very well. In financial planning process, most of the things that you are trying to achieve are unpredictable. Therefore, Excel sheet models will not work in the financial planning. What is predictable in financial planning is you have to achieve your life goals. Your children have to be educated, you will have a retirement, you have to achieve your lifetime objectives, whatever you want to do or aspirations. These are predictable. But how it will happen, nobody knows. Will you live up to 60 years of age? You don't know. Will you in your pink of your health at 60 years of age? You do not know. What could be the inflation? We don't have control on. What could be the interest rate? We do not know. How the stock market is going to fare over longer periods of time, we have no control on. When most of the things are unpredictable, Excel sheet models will have limitations. So don't project putting things on Excel sheet telling that the stock market is going to give you 15% return. That's why in next 20 years you will be having so much of a corpus. No, that's not the way it works. I have spoken about this in one of the earlier videos. Will the stock market give you 16% rate of return going forward? And why did it give in the past? That also have told. So these are things which cannot be predicted. Depending excessively on an Excel sheet model and believing that such a thing will happen at such a point of time is a sure recipe for failure. By the way, dear viewers, before I talk to you about the next 2 points, I would like to hear from you. What have you done in your financial planning? What has been your experience? Is it working right? What have you done to make it work for you? If it is not working for you, what went wrong? I would like to hear from you. Please, in the comment section below, give your inputs and tell me what is happening in your financial planning, what is working right or what is not working so well. Point number 7, excessive focus on future. Future is very important. We have to plan our future today. But the most important thing is you have to live today. You will have hunger today, you will have hunger in the future. Your hunger of today has to be satiated today. You have to plan for your hunger in the future. So you can't be thinking all the time about future and spoil your today. See, you are young today, you have young children today, you have aspiration, you want to do things, you want to travel, you want to dine out, you could be wanting to do so many things, you want to wear fashionable clothes. All these are your desires. Of course, desires have to be in control, but you can't push it to the age 60 to do all these things. So when today is a present, 70% or 80% of your resources should be used to make your life meaningful in today's time. Plan for future. Future is like the seed in a fruit. The seed has to be sown, taken a new crop and generate resources out of this. Don't make your fruit itself as a seed. So focus on present, satiate that hunger of yours today and then plan for the future. If you reverse it, your financial plans are bound to failure because you will be having a craving for your needs of today. The most important reason, finally, point number 8, your inability to stay between fear and greed. People often succumb to the emotions of fear and greed, and these will come alternating with each other. Some points of time people are fear struck when the markets are collapsing, when they have lost jobs and they don't have a direction, they are stuck with fear. When markets are doing very well, they are overtaken by greed. They think the future is going to be like this. So when you are occupied with fear and greed, your rational thinking will go out of the window. So that will not work in that way. To stay between fear and greed, it takes many years for you to practice that art of rational thinking, or you need an external source to keep you within these things. When you get stuck with fear or greed, somebody should tell you, look, this is not the way it is. Actually, if you look at the empirical evidence, this is the way it is going to pan out. So there is no need to be fearful, or control your emotions, control your greed. Don't expose so much of your money for something which might go and fall off in next few months or couple of years. So if you are not able to find a balance between your fear and greed, and if you don't cultivate that habit of staying between fear and greed, then your financial plans are bound to fail over longer periods of time. Dear viewers, I am a financial planner and I work with a team of financial planners. Are you the one who is looking for help in your financial planning? You can make best use of our services. You can reach to us from any corner of the world through a WhatsApp message on the numbers which is shown here on the screen. Either myself or one of my team members will help you to build a very robust financial plan. Then why delay? Send your message now. Dear viewers, the episode that I have done today, if it gave you an insight of how financial plannings have to be done or why financial plans fail, please like this video. If you are a person who is watching this channel for the first time, or if you are yet to subscribe for this channel, please hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon. Don't forget to share this video with your near and dear ones. Thank you very much for watching this episode on NRI Money Clinic. I shall be back with you with yet another topic in yet another video very, very soon.
Press the bell icon for more details and subscribe our channel.